Let's be honest here. Iranians are notorious for this phase of an operation. They're very good at obfuscating and delaying and prolonging and dragging out negotiations. To what end? What they want here is to drag this out as much as possible beyond the 2 weeks and get extensions, because they know very well that as the price of oil drops, the stock market goes up. The economic pressure on the president is removed, as well as the political pressure on him. Iranians tend to believe that the president will be less inclined to restart the war even if the agreement fails. And that's what they're counting on here. So the president, I know for a fact that he understands this because I talked to him about it. And the reality is that I believe he will keep the Iranians in check within this time frame. Over time, what the Iranians will do in negotiations, they are masters at this. We're dealing with generational leaders here like Putin. And you notice Putin never accepted a ceasefire. Why? Because he believes that war is his trump card and he wants to keep it that way. The Iranians here will make it seem like they're getting close to a deal. They'll say, yes, we'll make a concession there, we'll settle this. But we need more time to resolve it. I think that will be their goal. We have to close the door after 2 weeks, make sure they understand that we won't go even a day beyond that, and we'll come back with full-scale operations. So there's still influence here. One more point for our audience to understand. We also have a strategic asset that the Iranians value highly, and that's Karg Island. This island is the main distribution point for the Iranians. And over 90% of all the oil passes through this distribution point. The pipeline comes in, tankers go out. 60% of their revenue, 50% of their budget. If we take control of this strategic asset and assume there's no agreement, and we tell the Iranians, you will lose all your oil if you don't completely abandon your nuclear capability and let us take it over, in addition to all the other points we're trying to impose here, and if you don't, we'll destroy it. That will be economic collapse for this regime, for sure. And it will probably put them on a path where the regime will be so vulnerable, without any revenue to speak of, that they will be fighting for their own survival. Therefore, we still have considerable leverage here to use against the Iranians.
But General Kine, speaking with the president, you analyze the zoo, war plans, etc. Are you convinced that he has the appetite and the political capital, which is probably even more important, the political capital to resume this war if he feels that Iran is deceiving him?
This I know a few things. First, he won't make a bad deal, because he's negotiated with these Iranians more than anyone else. He knows they're pathological liars. He knows they would cheat. He knows who they really are. And he knows he's dealing with some pretty serious radicals right now, obviously not with the first or second tier of leadership for sure. So he's fully alert here. I don't see him making a bad deal at all. And the second thing, he knows very well that he owns this strategic asset I'm referring to on Karg Island. So yes, I believe he would step up and resume combat operations, especially focused on Karg Island. He would do other things as well. I believe these two things are still very mistaken.
Is there any chance that he would throw Israel to the lions? So here we have Iran saying, we'll give you the deal you really, really want, as long as you make Israel stop attacking Hezbollah in Lebanon. Would he do that?
When President Trump spoke with the Prime Minister about the opportunity he believes a deal could provide, and that's why he was willing to accept a ceasefire, despite the short-term gain, as I described, that Iran will get from this, he obviously realizes all of this for himself. The prime minister really wanted to continue operations against Hezbollah here because he is determined, Andrew, so that our audience understands, he has already accepted a ceasefire with the group before. And he knows that Hezbollah is back trying to kill as many Israelis as possible. So this time Netanyahu, that is, he fully intends to go in there and destroy all their infrastructure south of the Litani River. He has already asked the people to leave. They did that. He has ground forces there and also an air component involved. He's just going to take it away from them completely, not occupy, but destroy, in such a way that there will be nothing left to do without a huge reconstruction effort. He wants to have the means to be able to come back and finish what he started there. And the president gave him the green light to do exactly that. I suspect that the reason why the Iranians are still attacking the Arabs is to put pressure on the Arabs to tell the president to back off and force Netanyahu to stop attacking Hezbollah. I suspect that the Iranians will threaten to close the Strait of Hormuz again because of this issue. I hope the president stands firm and supports Netanyahu in his goal here, unless Netanyahu voluntarily says, all right, if this is a real opportunity, I'll wait a few weeks to see what happens. I haven't heard anything like that from the Israelis. So far, they are fully determined to finish what they started in Lebanon.
General Keane, thank you for your time.
For your insights. Great talking to you, Andrew. Thanks.
Iran presented a 10-point plan to end the war, which included demands such as the withdrawal of all American troops from the Middle East. But Donald Trump posted on Truth Social overnight, countless agreements, lists, and letters are being sent by people who have absolutely nothing to do with the negotiations between the United States and Iran. In many cases, they are real fraudsters, charlatans, and worse. They will be quickly exposed as soon as our federal investigation is completed. There is only one group of people and only certain terms that are acceptable to the United States, and we will discuss them behind closed doors. During these negotiations, these are the points that serve as the basis for the ceasefire agreement that we have accepted. So Donald Trump mentioned 10 points yesterday, but then Iran released them, and now the U.S. basically says, no, those aren't it. In response, the president of the Iranian parliament posted on X that the U.S. had already violated 3 points of the ceasefire agreement. So J.D. Vance just responded to that. But the initial post was about the 3 points that Iran has a problem with. Lebanon was part of the ceasefire agreement. That's what Iran is saying. A drone entered Iranian airspace and had to be shot down, and they are denying Iran the right to enrich uranium, which they claim was part of the original agreement. So you just heard J.D. Vance saying right there, ceasefires can be unstable. They will not allow uranium enrichment, and Lebanon won't be part of any agreement either.